What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? This is Gary, back at you. Another episode of Gridiron Lines. In today's video, we're going to give you a little primer, a little heads up for what the Chiefs are up against versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last week, the Chiefs lost to the Lions, unfortunately. They're now 0-1. The Jaguars are 1-0. I thought the Chiefs defense played pretty well versus the Lions, only allowing 14 points. The pick six is really what did that team in last week versus the Lions. That's what did the Chiefs in. Before the game, I had picked the Lions to cover the spread, but the Chiefs to win. I am 1 of 2, so I'm at 50% there of my little picks. This week, the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites as of Wednesday night versus the Jaguars. I have the Chiefs as 2.5-point favorites versus this team. So once again, I have the Chiefs winning this game. That's my pick. The Chiefs are going to win. And the Jaguars are going to cover the spread, so it's going to be a tight one, a hard-fought victory for the Chiefs. And, the Chiefs' defense might have played well last week, but they have a lot that they have to worry about now versus the Jacksonville Jaguars because Trevor Lawrence seems like he's hit another level after last season.
Now together in Jacksonville, second down and 2. Lawrence fires, Ridley somehow makes the catch.
Now, there are about 5 throws that Trevor Lawrence made in this game that were in tight windows like that, wow throws, elite level throws. So Trevor Lawrence is playing, at least from the first game standpoint, incredibly well at the start of the season. So the Chiefs secondary is going to have their work cut out for him.
Lawrence steps up, fires into the end zone.
In their game versus the Colts, the Jaguars won 31-21, and Trevor Lawrence ended up throwing for 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a 75% completion percentage. Travis Etienne rushed the ball well, 18 carries, 77 yards, 4.3 yards per run. But interestingly about this offensive performance for the Jaguars, they scored 31 points, but they only averaged 5 yards per play. Last year, the Chiefs were around 6.5 to 7 yards per play on offense. So that goes to show that the Jaguars' offense went through some lulls through the game. They had some low points. And the Chiefs are going to want to take advantage of those low points and keep consistent pressure offensively while also playing good, sound defense and hoping that that comes through to make the Jaguars have periods where they don't score much throughout the game. Now, one thing I really liked about the Chiefs' defense in their first game versus the Lions, I thought the young pass rushers looked pretty good, particularly George Karlaftis. He seemed to have a little more bounce in his step coming off the edge, looked a lot quicker than he did last year, and I was pretty impressed with the way he played in Week 1 versus the Lions.
Now it's 3rd and 2, and they look to throw it again back in the middle, incomplete.
Chiefs also got Chris Jones back, so that's great news. He, submitted a raise request to HR. It took him a while to get the paperwork through. He was patiently waiting until the Chiefs made the move. And Chris Jones is going to be playing versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they could use him because the Jaguars have what I would describe as easily a top 10 offense in the NFL this season, perhaps a top 5 offense in the NFL. Last season, they were 8th in yards per play offensively, and last season they were 10th in points per game offensively. And I think that this team is on an upward trajectory right now. They're not on the way down. So with Trevor Lawrence improving, getting another year, this is going to be a really good test for the Chiefs secondary and for the Chiefs pass rush, their entire defense as a whole. They did a good job of holding the Lions to 14 points last week. That was a good offense last season in 2022. I think the Lions had a top 5 offense last season. So Chiefs once again have a really difficult offensive opponent to go up against in the Jaguars, and they don't want to start the season 0-2. So they're fighting to get to be 1-1, but the Jaguars are not going to go down without a fight. This is a good team. However, the Chiefs do have one trick up their sleeve that I haven't seen the media talk about too much up to this point in time. And that trick card is just how well Patrick Mahomes has played after a loss. He has an 11-3 record after losing a game, And then to add on to that, since the Jaguars are coached by Doug Peterson, Coach Reed has a 19-8 record when facing his understudies in the NFL. So these are good coaches that have come off the Andy Reid coaching tree, some of them winning Super Bowls, many of them going deep in the playoffs. And Coach Reed has a 19-8 record versus these opponents. So this all makes for a really intriguing matchup on Sunday in Jacksonville. A team who is up and coming, a quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who is wanting to be playing at an MVP level. The team in the Chiefs, who has already reached that mountaintop twice. The quarterback who has been the MVP twice. So this is going to be a Jacksonville team that's very hungry to face these Chiefs. And it's really going to be a clash of the Titans. Two offensive juggernauts going at it. I want to talk briefly about the drops that happened last week versus the Lions. So the Chiefs are number one currently in the NFL in terms of dropped passes. And if you look at this data here, they dropped 5 passes in week 1 versus the Lions. The next closest were the Cowboys, who dropped 4. The Bears dropped 3. And then you have a whole bunch of teams that dropped 2. And then a bunch of teams that dropped 1 or didn't drop a single pass. So those 5 drop passes played a major role in the outcome of that game versus the Lions. There's a lot of Chiefs fans on Twitter that are declaring that the sky is falling. The sky is not falling. In fact, I'm going to say that the sky is the limit for this group. Those drop passes were unfortunate, but I don't believe this is going to be a symptom or something that happens throughout the year. It was the first game of the season. Kadarius Toney was coming off of basically missing all of camp. He didn't have a lot of practice. Coach Reed even admitted himself that he thought he put Toney in a bad position by having him out there. And those 5 drops are not going to be a commonplace theme throughout the season. So it's noise, it's statistical noise, it's unfortunate, but I do not look for this group to continue to drop passes like they did in week 1. They have a history of having pretty good hands, and so I don't think that's going to be a problem going forward. I do think that the Jaguars are going to be a problem for the Chiefs this weekend. I think Kansas City wins the game. The Jaguars cover. So I'm going to predict that the Chiefs win 29-28 in an exciting football game, a hard-fought, close victory. And let me know in the comments. Now it's your turn to input. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Chiefs win this game? Do you think they cover the 2.5-point spread? Or do you think the Jaguars cover? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, make sure you like this video. Once again, I've been working with this new format, this new video structure, and so I'm still learning things. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know of things you think I could do better. I'm always open for those comments, but make sure you hit that like button down there, and you subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is Gary, signing out. Let's go Chiefs. Here's to a good, injury-free great game in Jacksonville, and I'm really going to enjoy seeing Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence square off against each other. It should be a super exciting football game.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.